So to anybody who's tuning in right now here in the lobby, you can't actually hear what we're saying right now. This is an illusion. Whatever you hear and whatever you witness in this moment in time um, is inadmissible in a court of law. Actually, no, it is admissible. It's perfectly admissible, and you can use it if you want. But we're not going to say anything that can be incriminating. So, are we, Ian?
That could be anything at this point.
You're right. You're right. I suppose, yeah, literally. You could twist words and make it mean anything nowadays.
Hmm.
I mean, the power of AI and deep fake, it's terrifying. It really is.
Yep.
That's why evidence has to be fresh. I think otherwise, yeah, it's not very reputable. So, Ian, what have you been up to today?
In my bed.
Have you?
Yeah.
You poor guy.
Yeah, shush. I was working till about 6:30 this morning, so.
Oh, shit. So you've still been doing the taxi even though you've been ill?
Yeah.
Oh, so you just got today and tomorrow off, that's it?
Well, tomorrow, depending on how many times you know.
Not tempted to take it for a spin after we finish tonight?
No, I've not got it's where the guy I share it with.
Oh, you have to return it when he's on shift.
Yeah.
Oh. What about do you ever get to keep it just to drive around? Or
Yeah, I did
not anymore?
last week just because uh, the guy that shared the car away was off all week last week,
Oh, so you wouldn't normally be able to keep the car.
pretty much. But the car was in the garage from Tuesday till.
Gotcha, gotcha. So neither of you can work.
Either way, he was there working last week.
Yeah. Oh, you think they'd have more cars, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Right then, everybody, welcome back to the Motive Racing channel. We have got a very special league out on track here tonight. Our first ever live broadcast here of the Red Arrows Racing League. Got introduced to these guys through, as many of you on the Motive Racing channel will know, Senna, our former champion in the Motive Racing Formula One League, introduced me to this league, said that they were looking for a commentator on Monday night, and obviously I couldn't accept a commentary role without including my very good friend and partner in crime here in the commentary box. That is Mr. Emo Guy, otherwise known as Ian. Hello, mate. How you doing?
Hi there. You might want to clean that brown off your nose there.
No, it's all right. It's all right. Yeah, I hope that arse crack isn't itching too much at the moment. But
Don't tell me.
um, but anyway, yeah, good to have with me as always, Ian. And
Uh-huh.
we're looking forward to another exciting night here of action at the Shanghai International Circuit, which is a track that I know quite well, but haven't driven it in a long time. But what about yourself? What's your memories of this track? Is it one that you enjoy?
No, I do not enjoy this track whatsoever. I don't know whether it's if it's the long right hander that takes you into like a tight, well, an even tighter right hander, then into an immediate left hand. I don't know if it's just that part of the track I don't like with this entire track or what, but it's just not one that I've ever enjoyed.
No, yeah, it's a tricky track. I've got to say there are some incredibly frustrating corners. Turn one is an absolute ball lake, I will admit, and also that corner that you just saw RDB CFC coming out of onto the long straight as well. That one, oh god, that's got like about four apexes. It's a bit like Istanbul, but not as long. And obviously it's a
Mm,
right hand instead of left hander. Do you know turn eight Istanbul? You know that one?
mm, mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, corners like that really do cause me incredible frustration. Um, So yeah, I mean, I can relate certainly on that. Um, but yeah, here we are. New drivers out on track. A few familiar faces as well, Ian. We got obviously we know Faulkner. He races on Tuesdays and Thursdays in the Purple Sector League. Um, I
Soggy
don't know if you
biscuit.
Soggy Biscuit. You remember Soggy Biscuit? Yeah, Soggy Biscuit used to race in Motive on Project Cars. I'm sure
Yep.
it was. Yeah, incredible. Small world, eh? Um, Who else have we got? Super Strikers raced in a Motive, I believe on XL, OG, and also as a guest driver on Friday night in the Motive Racing's F1 League. We know Mark Bow. Mark Bow raced in XL, OG, and also Motive as well. I'm sure I remember Liam Ez as well, or Liam, I'm sure is the name, but yeah, I vaguely remember Liam Ez. Yeah, lots of people who I recognise here. Um, but yeah, ultimately should be a good night of action here. Um, we've got couple of drivers on the medium tyres in the early stage of this qualifying session. Is that? I wonder why. I wonder why that is. Um,
Maybe they're just you know, doing some tests to figure out exactly where the limit of the medium tyre is in case they want to go a little bit longer. But would start on a soft compound.
could well be. Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, you have a free choice of what tyres you choose for the start. However, maybe just maybe they might bank in on a two-stop strategy. Possibly, might be hoping to use another set of softs in the race. I don't know. Could that be
Hmm.
it? Um,
It's possible.
Plenty of theories, but we see RDBBS PCFC putting in the first lap time of the session here on a 1 minute 43.0, and Sniper C just trumps out there, goes up to the top there on a 1 minute 31.4. So I think that's going to be much more representative of the overall benchmark here tonight. As Super Striker goes into second place with that first lap on the medium tyres. Nice lap there on the slower compound as Soggy Biscuit goes to the top of the leaderboard there on a 1 minute 31.0. So that's a solid lap time there from Soggy Biscuit, and currently blazing a trail here tonight in China as we see Super Striker there. Corey even doing a lap on the mediums, a 132.6. Jordan Hillier coming over the line P4 on the soft tyres. C Faulkner is a long way off. I tell you what, C Faulkner we know is a bit of a front runner in purple sector, but here tonight seemingly nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, it just seems like he doesn't like uh, that tight right hander coming out of the first turn. It did seem it did go a little bit further out than what he would want to.
Absolutely. I might just have to quickly change something here because I think I might have. Oh no, I have changed it. Brilliant. Okay, I was worried that I hadn't updated the description in the video. On the underneath the video title, I was concerned that I might have
Uh,
left it on live coverage of Purple Sector, but I didn't. I did change it to Red Arrows. So,
uh,
all right. Okay, that's good. Right, that's fine. We're good. We're good. We're okay. We're okay. Just going to share the stream in the Red Arrow League as well because obviously it's good to, you know, share things around and share the love. I
depending
suppose.
on what you're sharing.
I suppose. Yeah, it could be contentious, couldn't it? Um,
Mm.
for sure. Yeah. Right. There we go. That standard thumbnail of the Janettas, I always had to wait 5 minutes for that to disappear because although it's a nice thumbnail and it was beautiful at the time, um, it's not really very representative of what we're actually doing here. Obviously, the Formula One game, and it's not even Motive either. It's Red Arrows. It's just being streamed on Motive
Mm.
because obviously it's my channel and we've got the but a few people might watch it. But anyway, Northover's gone into third place in this latest lap here, and ZX Tenor has gone into fourth place. It's quite close to the top of the leaderboard, only about 4.5 tenths of a second separating the top four drivers from Soggy Biscuit down to ZX Tenor. We've got a comment also coming in from T, who's one of our he's one of the admins at Purple Sector. He says, "Hey Andy, wish Faulkner good luck from me, please." I will do. Good luck, C Faulkner. Hopefully, you have a good race. The Purple Sector guys appear to be behind you tonight. He's currently a little bit off the pace at the moment and has got time to find here if he wants to be able to challenge for a podium. But still a long way to go in this qualifying session at the moment. And currently the top three all in the pits. You've got ZX Tenor, who's currently on an in lap by the looks of it. You've got Super Striker and Mel Dav in the pits. Meldav's gone into P6. Youngi's out there at the moment in P7. Just about dipping into the 1 minute 31s at the moment as we come towards the end of the first sector. That's an in lap there for Youngie. What about Murphy? Murphy, I think, is on an in lap as well because the time is a little bit off of what we would expect for a flyer. So in comes Murph. Oh, it's not Murphy, it's Murph. And yeah, so lots of drivers out there who we're not familiar with, and I'm going to try and cover everybody as best as I can over the course of this session, but it might be a bit of a challenge here as I just try to get to grips with who's driving what car and who's who and all that stuff.
I'll just continue with doing this then, shall I?
Say again?
I'll just continue with doing this then, shall
Yeah, I suppose so, yeah. For those of you who don't know, Ian is basically I share play my screen so he can watch because he hasn't got the F1 game at the moment, nor a PlayStation. So he's watching PlayStation Party Chat on his phone, and he's watching the race live on my share play. And basically, he's able to click on the screen and cause me a lot of grief because every time he clicks on the screen, there's this icon that appears, and it just dances around the screen and you can't see it on the stream, so nobody knows the pain that I'm suffering through at the moment having to witness this. Nobody understands or empathizes with my state of mind at the moment, so I just have to kind of like grit my teeth and bear it and not voice it, because if I voiced it, no one understands anyway, so there's no point. So I just got to sit here and watch Ian doing this over and over again. He's literally flying around the screen at the moment with this icon, and I've just got to sit here and watch it. It's painful. But anyway, we see Sniper C has gone into third place. Was he already in third? I think he was, but the lap time's improved there for Sniper C. As half a second is the gap. Or was that indeed, was that an out lap here? Is this the flying lap? I'm not quite sure. It might well have been, actually. So let's jump on board with Sniper C because he's one of the few drivers, he or her or they, is one of the few drivers out on track at the moment, currently doing a lap time. As we see, slightly up to the first sector there by 0.05 of a second. So pretty tight here, Ian, and looking like we could be on for an improvement. Let's watch as Sniper C drives around. That's through the middle part of the lap. There we go, and into this double apex, kind of like, it's kind of one corner, it's two corners, but it's one, if you see what I mean. As here we come down towards the end of this little straight. Oh, look at this, 2.5 tenths up is Sniper C. This could be the pole time here, because if Sniper C continues these gains, which we've seen in the first two sectors, we could be on course for a huge improvement. This could be quite close here with Soggy Biscuit as we come down the long back straight here, down towards the hairpin. And yeah, this definitely could be a chance here, as my TV has just blinked massively and has come back on again. But here we go, Sniper C into the hairpin, and has only got this final left-hander to go until the end of the lap. So let's see what we're going to put on the board here. Sniper C, oh, it's backed out of it. So clearly had a bit of a mistake there, or maybe he didn't have fuel, I don't know. Well, the fuel would have gone by now, surely, but nonetheless, Sniper C coming into the pits here as we see top three currently, Soggy Biscuit, Steely, Sniper C and Northover there currently out there. Let's see if Northover can improve on P4 at the moment. We've also got the likes of Corey Brennan out there, as well as Meldav. Corey Brennan there on that previous lap put it into 7th place in the Mercedes, so that's a nice lap there from Corey. Meldav is going through the first sector. What about Northover? Northover's just coming down the back straight here, down towards the final sector of the lap, a tenth and a half up as it stands, so looking pretty good at the moment, I've got to say. Just needs to keep it together for this final part of the lap here as we come out of that long right-hander, that never-ending right-hander, which absolutely kills the left rear tyre. But likewise, the turn one is pretty horrendous as well, as we see Northover here into the hairpin, gets it turned in nicely. Back on board here as they come towards the final corner. Is this going to be challenging the top guys? Soggy Biscuit has just improved massively here, a 1:30.7, nearly over half a second ahead of everybody else as Northover goes P3 there, but still 0.6 of a second shy. Wow, that's incredible. Ian, look at that, a 1:30.7, blown the opposition out of the water there.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to spot it. I've no idea where he's found that pace, where he's found the extra time. He's obviously found it somewhere, and he's just absolutely, he's licked it, stuck it to the envelope, and absolutely sent it.
in true Daniel Ricciardo fashion here, yeah, for sure. Soggy Biscuit coming towards the, or coming out onto the long back straight here. So let's see if we're going to see another improvement. I don't think we are, because I'm pretty sure that Soggy Biscuit's on an in lap here, so we're not going to see any further improvements to the lap time for the time being. Um, yeah, I can't see anybody finding the time to beat that. I really can't. We haven't ridden on board with Steely yet, so we don't know if Steely's got a bit of time in the pocket, but yeah, that is absolutely phenomenal there from Soggy Biscuit, I have to say. As Youngie there on that previous lap improved slightly into P10. I don't know if we were P10 before, but yeah, Mark Bowe still get to do a lap here as well. Mark Bowe, one of the familiar faces here in this session, former driver at Motive, and coming out onto the long back straight here. So keep an eye on Mark Bowe, see what he's able to put on the board as we jump on board here, coming down the long straight. We'll go trackside for a moment and then back on board when we get into the braking zone. As here comes Mark Bowe, stopping it for the hairpin, and goes a little bit deeper than he'd like there, just skidded past the apex. Would have liked to have been getting on the power about that point, as Mark Bowe now comes to the final corner. Oh, this could be close here. This could be pretty close to pole. It is pole position there for Mark Bowe. So we were saying there a few moments ago, Soggy Biscuit had laid down a marker. Well, Mark Bowe's gone. You can try all you like, Soggy Biscuit. You can raise the bar to whatever level you like. I'm going to match it and I'm going to beat it. And Bowe has done that phenomenally there. Fantastic stuff there from Mark Bowe. And a driver who we know quite well, and clearly showing these Division 1 drivers that, yeah, there are high standards here. And these two look pretty close. And as it stands in this session, it's looking like it could be a two-horse race already.
Well, as I saw from our own leagues, you can take the lead as long as you want, you can take about as much of a gap as you want, but there will always be that looming chance that something could go wrong.
Yeah, there certainly is. And you never know what could happen in front of you, which is why everyone's got to be looking out and got to be ready for something, because end of the day, these two drivers, they could take each other out, they could have issues, they could have problems with their software, with their wheels or whatever. You just never know. But as it stands anyway, by the looks of it, it's going to be these two battling it out on pure pace unless something rears its ugly head and gets involved in this. But yeah, Bowe, I don't know whether Bowe's going to get a chance to come in, put some fresh boots on and go again. Could be, maybe the opportunity's there for that to happen. We don't quite know just at the moment. But Bowe will be into the pits here at the end of this lap for sure, as we listen to Ian doing a grep in the background there.
Because I feel like death, that's why.
Oh,
Are you
poor
trying
guy.
to deal with a chest infection?
Oh,
I will put you in the bars.
well, that's not very nice. It's a bit mean,
Well, you're not being very nice to me.
a bit harsh.
Karma's a bitch.
Say no more. Say no more. Right, that is it.
Yeah,
So
and for those at home, yes, I do have a chest infection, so if you hear me go quiet for a long time, I'm either trying to catch my breath, sneezing, or coughing a lung up.
yes, of course, and we're all very interested to know what's going on with Ian's chest infection today.
Shut up.
What? Sorry.
I could smell that sarcasm by the way.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Don't be so silly. Of course not. Of course not. No, definitely no.
My daughter could tell that was sarcasm.
No. I think you're being a bit paranoid, mate.
Shut up. You
I'm
cannot
not-
talk to anybody that they're being paranoid.
I'm not gaslighting you. Jesus.
I am gonna hurt you.
So anyway, we've got
Just
three
remember,
drops.
just while we're on the Ferrari there,
Yeah.
I saw a picture that they've actually the shark fin at the back has actually been serrated.
No way.
Honestly,
What,
it's like
a 25 car?
I think it was Hamilton's.
Really?
Yeah, I was seen during testing, but I don't know if it's going to be on the actual car or not. No.
I know they made a lot of changes with the with the front of the car. Didn't know about the back. Very interesting. Obviously, looking forward to the to Sunday morning. We've got the Australian Grand Prix coming up. Are you going to be watching it live, Ian?
Always.
Yeah, 6 a.m. in the morning or 5 a.m. I think it might even be 4 a.m. It's very early in the morning.
Well,
Um,
chances
I,
are I'll be awake anyway because I'll be at work.
oh, fair, fair. Oh yeah, you can watch it in a taxi, can't you?
Yeah.
But yeah, just pull over and watch the F1. Or you could just finish early, I guess, couldn't you? I guess if you wanted to.
No.
Oh, you wouldn't be able to. You could
Nope.
probably negotiate like an early start, couldn't you, for an early finish?
No, because that would start when the other guy finishes, and he starts when I finish.
I suppose, yeah. There's probably a lot of business between 4 and 6, isn't there? Because you've got like people coming home drunk from pubs and bars and stuff, haven't you? So
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, probably be a bit too much for them to miss out on. Anyway, currently got Soggy Biscuit going to the final corner here, and can Soggy Biscuit get back onto the top spot here in this qualifying session? No, he can't. He improves by 500ths of a second there. That was incredibly close. Soggy Biscuit almost returning to pole position there, but missing out by the narrowest of margins. Mark Bow retains that top spot for the time being. What about Steely? As Steely now comes into the final corner, what is Steely going to be able to put on the board here? Let's see. Onto the power we go. It might be a little bit the drift here, I think, for Steely. It's going to be P3, and it's going to be a slight improvement there as well by a tenth of a second, but it was an invalid lap time, so it doesn't count. As Sniper C is well down. Northover's gone P3 right at the end of the session there, pushes Steely down a position. Sniper C is definitely not going to improve on this lap. As who's gone in there? It's a Super Striker there into the 1 minute 30. So brilliantly done there from Super Striker. That came from absolutely nowhere. Super Striker was way down the order until a few moments ago, with a lovely lap there. Has put himself in the mix. Another of the drivers who used to race here at Motive in the F1 League on a Friday night. I think Corey Brennan improved as well right at the end. A Sniper C over the line there, can't improve. Jordan Hiller into the pits. I think everybody else is done for the session here. So it's just once Jordan pulls in, we should be done for this qualifying session here for the opening round of the season here at the Red Arrows Racing League. Obviously our first time commentating and broadcasting the Red Arrows Racing League, and wow, I tell you what, standards are incredibly high in terms of pace here tonight.
If
And
you're quite done being a bit of a bitch, check your Discord, please, and you'll see the evidence that I provided to show that the F1 Ferrari has changed its shark fin.
okay,
Do it now.
all right.
Do it now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah. They put an HP logo on top of it.
Now look next to Hamilton's number.
No, I know.
Fucking bitch.
Yeah, I know. Anyway,
But yeah, the top five all separated by only just about 7,000 of 700 of us
7/10.
7/10. Yeah, my
That's
head.
it.
Shush. 7/10 of a second. But it's not that far separated, even from P11 down to P1. It's still less than a second.
I was going to say the top 16 are separated by 1.2 seconds. I mean that's like F1 level, like real F1 type of
That is.
close
Oh.
matchness. Yeah, that's not good. That's not
See,
what we wanted.
this is throwing a real wrench into their work, because if the drivers didn't know that this rain was coming, then this could throw the pace, into someone else's court.
Certainly could. With this rain, obviously, it's going to play massively into the hands of those towards the back, isn't it? And those who didn't qualify so well, it's just going to, I think, create an extra spectacle for us here tonight. So I'm looking forward to seeing who can handle these tricky conditions the best. And it doesn't look like light rain. It doesn't look like a little smattering, does it? That looks like proper, heavy, serious rain. That looks like the kind of rain that you wouldn't want to be outside for. So, yeah, going to be an interesting one here tonight as we're about to go racing.
I have a feeling that we're going to see a few safety cars today.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Well, then again, we don't really know these guys though, so they could be a very clean professional bunch. But then again, most of the leagues that we commentated on over the years have been very clean and very fair. And obviously, we commentate on Purple Sector, we commentate on Motive. Every league's gone through phases and periods where it's not been to the standard that we'd have liked, but then during those phases, during those times, we've always made steps to ensure that what's going on hasn't continued. And for the most part, the leagues that we've covered have been very strong and the racing very clean and tidy. So hopefully we're going to see that tonight. We are currently experiencing a bit of a delay getting the race going. I don't know whether they've got extra time in the lobby set on it or something. I don't know if there's an option to extend the time that you spend in the garages doing your setups. But whatever the case, we're still waiting to actually get the green light.
As the officials are trying to determine whether or not the race should go ahead.
Could well be. Yeah. Yep. Definitely. Do you know what? I keep thinking something keeps popping into my head, and then it keeps going out. And I've thought to say this about 5 times, and every time I forget what I'm about to say. I think I might be suffering from amnesia. Anyway,
here we go.
Let's go another head of the group. About to go racing here. I was about to say we go straight to the race. No formation lap. That's what I was going to say. Here we go. Lights out and away we go. And Soggy Biscuit there got a good start from second place on the grid. Gets a bit of wheel spin, but manages to hold it there into turn 1. And Soggy Biscuit leads ahead of Mark Bow in second place. As there's Super Striker there down the inside into P2 and makes that one stick there on Bow. So Bow down to third place. Northover's got ahead of Sniper C, but not for long because Sniper C's on the outside. Although Northover on the inside here for this tight left-hander, and has got that move back there up into fourth place. As we can see, there's a collision there between Steely and Sniper C. Sniper C absolutely plummeting down the order here on this opening lap, as we see Steely and Corey now side by side here. Steely on the inside, Corey on the outside. Sniper C has got back ahead of Murph up into P7, and Corey there has managed to complete that move there on Sniper C up into 6th place. But Steely has come out on top in that battle with Corey. So this is the battle for 5th place. Always that's Steely. They're going very deep, and Corey's going to surely capitalise on that and swoop around the outside, left the inside for this next section here down this little back straight. I tell you what though, Steely's not giving up on this one without a fight. Corey though manages to just squeeze him out there, out onto the straight up into P5 as Brewdog here, WA Brewdog and Jordan Hillier have been battling a little bit down this little back straight, but Brewdog there's made that move up into P15 as we see the spray. It's very difficult to see what's going on right now. We're relying on a timing board far more than I'd like to be, as Geldy there gets very wide coming out of that out onto the long back straight, and it's down to P16. Got well out of shape there through that corner, but the race to the Soggy Biscuit out the front, coming down towards the hairpin for the first time. There's Super Striker there in second place with Bo ahead of Northover. Corey the top 5 as Meldav here has made the move, and in fact Meldav struck back here. Sniper C, there's a load of cars here packed into a short space as Murph there getting ahead of Sniper C now up into 7th place, but Sniper C's not done yet. Looking to the inside into the final quarter, so as Murph there completes that move. That's job done there for Murph as we look down towards the start finish straight to complete the first lap of the race here at Shanghai. IDB CFC has got back ahead of C Faulkner. C Faulkner's actually made good progress on the opening lap. Started P16, is up into P12, but has just been passed down the straight there by IDB CFC. And we go to the leaders here. Soggy Biscuit's got a comfortable gap at the moment of 0.6 of a second over Super Striker. You've got Bo there, who's dropping off for the 2 leaders a little bit in the early stages of this race. He's also pulling away a little bit from Northover in 4th place. Corey and Steely keeping Northover on his toes at the moment, as we see Murph has got Sniper C and Liam running very close here. Liam looking to the outside, goes for the switch back there, coming out of the right-hander, and Liam there with a beautiful move, but it's not done. As Sniper C trying to come back on the inside, and is going to do so brilliantly there. A lovely little battle here between these two drivers, as now Liam's again going to go for the switchback again. No, or sorry, not this time. Sniper C has got the car parked in the right place, and not even a sniff of it this time around. Sniper C holds on for 8th place for the time being. But some really good racing so far. No major crashes in a lap and a half of racing in these treacherous conditions, Emo Guy.
Yeah, there's been the occasional squiggle, there's a little bit of door bashing, but nothing, nothing serious. For the most part, it has been relatively smooth sailing from everybody.
Certainly has. We're coming down the back straight here on lap 2 of the race, and I see Steely here is pretty close on the back of Corey, coming down towards the hairpin. A little bit too far away this time around. We go back to Liam, who's still putting pressure on the back of Sniper C. Having a little look to the inside, not really in range at the moment. No DRS in the wet conditions. Obviously, it would be treacherously dangerous to have the DRS on because in a straight line, if you're putting out the slipstream to make a move in this sort of conditions, that much of a move in terms of the change of direction would be enough to put the car off course with DRS open. That's how rainy it is. That's how heavy this rain is. That's how much the standing water would be a problem in these conditions. But C Faulkner's got back ahead of RDBCFC. RDBCFC though is coming around the outside and it's going to still be on the inside for this next corner as they're side by side. Obviously Meldav in front of them might play a factor here because RDBCFC couldn't go less on the brakes as they would have liked, but making a move there very nicely up into P11. C Faulkner trying to hang it around the outside, can't do it. And the job's done back again there for IDBCFC. C Faulkner looking to the inside, too far back coming into this heavy braking zone.
So I just want to quickly ask, what's your favourite memory of this track in real world F1?
Oh, I can tell you my worst memory, but should we do best first? Okay, well, I remember when Vettel had won, I can't remember what year it was, but Vettel had won the first two races of the season in very, very dominant fashion. And I remember Hamilton was at McLaren at the time, and McLaren put him on a really good strategy for once. It was a really, really smart race, and ended up winning the race. And I remember feeling really hopeful at the time that it wasn't going to be Vettel running away with the championship. So yeah, I'll go with that. What about you?
Well, I'm going to have to say that Verstappen holding the outside line around turn 5 and managing to make a very clean overtake. I cannot remember what year it was, but I remember very distinctly that I think it. Oh Christ! I think it was towards the beginning of his F1 career. He managed to hold the line on the outside of turn 5.
You just see Jordan Hilly there making a move into the hairpin. Sorry, mate. Carry on.
No, you're fine. Because I remember it was back then. Even these days, he's still a master of the rain. But back then, he just seemed to be on a completely different level than what he is now in the rain.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean the Red Bull seemed pretty good in the rain back then. But take nothing away from the guy. You know, I remember Interlagos was another one where he did absolutely amazing in the rain. Do you remember that one?
He did
when he was, and I really wanted him to interfere with that because Hamilton and Rosberg were in the title fight, and Hamilton had the worst luck in that season. His reliability had been atrocious, and I remember Hamilton was leading and Rosberg was second, and basically Rosberg needed to drop points because if he finished second in all the races, he would have beaten Hamilton to the championship. And I remember just willing Verstappen on to get ahead of him or to possibly even take him out. And that was just, I remember that very vividly, actually. I've got to give you my worst memory of this track because it is one of my early memories of F1, and that's 2007. 2007 was the first F1 season that I watched almost all the races. I really got into it that season, Hamilton's rookie season, and I got up at the week before. I got up at 4 in the morning to watch the Japanese Grand Prix at Fuji, not Suzuka. And Hamilton had won that race dominantly. And then the next week, China comes along. He's on pole position. I think, it's going to be a repeat of last week. He's going to win the championship. It's all going to be great. Get into the race. He's got Raikkonen all over his backside. Raikkonen gets ahead of him. His tyres are shot at the end of the first stint. Comes into the pits and goes straight on into the gravel trap and gets beached.
Oh.
And that was my worst memory of this track. The Chinese Grand Prix was that. And it wasn't even at the end of the world at that point. It felt like it at the time to me as a kid because I was 10 years old watching that, seeing, the hopes of seeing the rookie F1 driver win the championship gone. And as we see Corey there and Northover side by side here, coming down towards this tricky, heavy right-handed braking zone, and Corey stays ahead for now. So Corey's actually done really well in his first few laps up into P4. But yeah, I was going to say, it's it was one of those things where at the time it felt like it was the end of the world. It actually wasn't at that moment, but it would end up being so the next week because obviously at Interlagos his gearbox failed midway through the race, and although it did come back to life, it wasn't enough. He didn't get high enough the order to get the championship. Raikkonen got him by 1 point. So yeah, it was. But undoubtedly for me, the worst experience or worst memory of this track has got to be that. What about you?
see, I don't think I actually have a worst memory because I've only ever really watched that one race.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it's well, yeah, I suppose. Yeah, if you only watch one Chinese Grand Prix, it's not going to be not going to have a
maybe well,
plethora of
well, I think
memories.
I've probably watched more, but I do vaguely remember, Montoya hitting a drain cover.
Really? China?
Yeah,
Jeez,
yeah.
that must have been one of the first ones because Montoya I think he retired in '06, didn't he? So, oh, C.
I
Faulkner's made
thought
the move
so.
on RDBCFC into the hairpin, but look at that. The switchback could be working in full effect here. Looking to the outside into the final corner. C. Faulkner's got that one covered there and holds on to that position for the time being as we see Jordan Hillier keeping it around the outside there of Brewdog as Brewdog there gets a bit out of shape and now Geldy moves up into P15 there coming down the start finish straight. Geldy could back fancy a move here on Jordan as well. Into turn one we go and down the inside goes Geldy, gets the move done, goes a little bit deep though into the corner and that's going to give Jordan the position back again and he swoops down the inside there. And, well, Geldy couldn't make it stick, unfortunate there for Geldy. And now falls back into the clutches of Brewdog and Youngie. This is the battle here for 14th place. They've dropped off of the likes of the train ahead. You've got Sniper C all the way down to ZX10 there, battling for 7th place. 7 of them in the mid-pack. And then this is the battle for 14th place at the back of the pack right now. Still continuing on here between Jordan, Geldy, Brewdog and Youngie. But out the front, things are looking pretty smooth sailing here for Soggy Biscuit Ian. I've got to say, our former racer at Motive and Project Cars 2 doing an absolutely phenomenal job at this stage.
Yeah, he took advantage of the bad start from Bo. Took straight into the lead, and he's kept his head down and kept it going.
Certainly has. It's been well, flawless so far, but obviously a long way to go. So let's not be putting any jinxes on just at the moment as we see the pack coming through that. I love that camera shot. It's absolutely beautiful. But we see the drivers here coming into the hairpin, the gap a second and a half here. Super Striker's actually gained a little bit over the course of this lap. I wonder if maybe with the rain stopping and maybe the grip improving a little bit, Super Striker just finding a little bit more confidence. Let's get the tyre graphic up. We're well into the race now. This is now going to be very relevant to what's going on indeed. And we get the tyres up. Everyone's on the wet tyres. That's not a surprise. But as this thing goes on, as the rain obviously gets a bit lighter, we could be seeing the tyre conservation becoming more of a factor, which obviously, if Stocky Biscuit's been pushing a bit too hard or has been going all out in these first few laps, could come to bite him on the bum. But then again, it could go the same for any driver out there. It could be the same situation as we see ZX going deep there into turn one and RDB CFC getting a nice exit. All goes into the side of him though. And ZX10 managing to keep on to 12th place there. Brewdog in the meantime has got ahead of Youngie. But Youngie on the inside here for this next corner as they're still running very close. But Brewdog there up into P16. So managing to keep on to that position there ahead of Youngie for the time being.
So yeah, I think the rain is it's also to stay with us for the remainder of the race. And the tyre prediction system believes that all drivers should stay on the wets until the end.
I mean, it's quite bold because it doesn't look like the rain's coming down that heavily anymore. Not as heavy as it was. Then again, though, you can see the wind is quite high because the raindrops, although there's a lot of them, they're not very thick. They're quite thin, which suggests that there might be wind around as well. So yeah, definitely could be an interesting one to watch. Maybe the rain is a bit heavier than it looks because of how thin the raindrops are, but or rather how thin they look.
What's your thought on the concept of the tire covers for for wet races?
So I haven't heard about this. Can you explain it?
There was testing done. I think it was not last year, but the year before. That a few cars got installed with wheel arches, so that it's just purely so it can reduce the spray, so it can make for closer racing during wet races like this. But also when if you go to first person in a car that's right behind another, you cannot see diddly squat, and that can be quite dangerous.
Yeah, that's the point actually. Yeah, maybe having the covers on could help that. Oh, is Steve Faulkner getting out of shape on the grass there on the outside of turn well, I don't know what turn it is, but it's one of the first sector anyway. And C Faulkner there, living dangerously. That was a close call there, Ian, wasn't it? I tell you what, did well to hold on to that one. That could have easily ended up in the fence.
Oh yeah, very easily. He did very well to react to that as soon as possible to try and get it back on track.
Certainly did, yeah. It's good reactions there from C Faulkner, a driver who we've seen racing in purple sector for the last few weeks, and clearly has a bit of skill at rally driving, it would appear. But yeah, back to your point about having the covers on the wet tyres. Would they slow the cars down in the wet considerably?
I don't think they would, but it's just the concept is just purely to reduce the spray.
Yeah, yeah. It could open up a whole load of other problems though, couldn't it? I suppose because having I don't know. It's just the idea of having covers on the tyres going around the track. It just seems a bit, yeah, I don't know. Could be a bit dangerous. I don't know. Obviously they're going to be well designed, aren't they? But it depends, really. Depends. Have they done any testing for it or anything like that? When did they test them? Just strikes me as potentially problematic. Was it this year? Was it in this year's testing?
No, it was last year.
Oh, was it? They didn't implement it then.
No.
Not for now.
Not yet, anyway.
We didn't really have any torrential rain races, did we, last year? We had a couple of wet races. Silverstone was wet. I remember it was started wet, ended dry. What other wet races were there last season? I can't even remember now. It's kind of got a bit hazy, to be honest.
Yeah.
Zandvoort was the year before.
Well, that's the revised version.
But they're running them in the dry, though.
Ah, but the track was wet.
Oh, sprinklers.
Yep.
Ah, gotcha. Right. But in the meantime, we've got a big train here. Corey, Northover, Steerley running in 4th, 5th and 6th. And then you've got the massive train of cars here going all the way down to 11th place as we see Faulkner there getting ahead of Liam into the hairpin. But does he complete the move here as Liam's keeping it there? In fact, sorry, it was Liam making a move on C Faulkner. I do apologise. Into the final corner. C Faulkner trying to come back here into the final corner, but Liam's completed that move. C Faulkner will have the slipstream here coming down the start-finish straight. Might be able to think about a move, but no, way too far back. Not even close there into turn 1 there for C Faulkner, and P11 at the moment there for him.
There was at least 3 wet races last season.
Silverstone's the only one I can remember off the top of my head. Was Monaco wet?
Was there
Canada.
China last year?
Canada was wet. I remember Canada.
Brazil.
Brazil. Ah, of course, yeah. 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 God, Mercedes had a pace in the wet, didn't they? Silverstone and Canada. I'll tell you what, right? I think Hamilton's win at Silverstone was... Oh, Imola, yeah. Yeah, I remember now, yeah. Yeah. You know what? Hamilton's win at Silverstone was such a blessing because the thing is, although Mercedes were quick in qualifying, their race pace in the dry was actually not that great. They were probably slower than McLaren and Red Bull. So it was actually so fortuitous, the fact that it rained in the first part of that race, because it made their advantage in qualifying look like it was across the board, you know, part of the race as well. And yeah, what an iconic moment that was, seeing... I know you're not a fan of his, I mean I personally am, but seeing that after 3 years of struggle, I mean, that's enough to get anyone going.
I mean, I would have liked to have seen George win it, but he just didn't have the pace.
He didn't, and obviously his car failed on him as well, which was unfortunately luck of the draw. Yeah, because Hamilton's got to the end, but for whatever reason. I can't even remember what it was now, but he had some kind of mechanical issue about halfway through the race. I
What
remember
from?
thinking, at least he wasn't in the battle for the win, because if he had been, if it had been, if he had been in the battle for the win, it would have been, I think, it would have just, well, it would have robbed him of an opportunity to fight for his home race.
Well,
Especially
I mean,
when he had
it's not
Hamilton
exactly
and Norris.
it's not exactly the first time that he would have had a race win taken from him.
No,
You know,
he had Spa taken away
Bahrain.
from him. Then again, I think that if his car hadn't been underweight in that race, I reckon Hamilton would have beaten him because they were so close on the track. And it was what I think it was a little bit. I think someone calculated it. He gained about 3 seconds of race time by having the car underweight, and Hamilton was right up his gearbox at the end. So I think he wouldn't have won that race if it hadn't have been for that. So he would have come
Well,
second.
the first one that comes to mind while getting robbed of a win is Bahrain. Is when Hamilton had COVID.
Yeah, Russell. Yeah, we spoke about that, didn't we, a couple of weeks ago during the Purple Sector stream at Bahrain. Oh, his Brewdog's
Oh,
dropped it.
oh
Oh no.
yeah. Anyway, yeah,
Never mind.
it's
Moving on.
yeah, it's because he had every reason to win that race. I think everybody in the F1 community really did feel it for him there. Yeah, you know, he was given the tools, he was given the right race car. Yeah, everything was just lined up for him, and it just something you know, it's just something just didn't want to let it happen.
Yeah, it was pretty much Mercedes had been perfect all year. They had the perfect car, hadn't made any mistakes. They were solid as anything. And then the one time that a kid jumps in the car with his opportunity of a lifetime, and they completely ballsed it up for him. There's no other word for it. They totally
Yeah,
bottled it, completely and utterly. And at the time, I had it go through my head. It might sound crazy, this, but they didn't want him winning the race and beating Bottas in his teammate, because Bottas, I think, had been given a contract for 2021 already, or might have actually been fighting for one. And I think they'd already decided they were going to give Bottas another year. And if George had beaten him and won that race, then it would have almost been inexcusable not to give him the drive. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't know how they could have not given him the drive if he had won that race. His first
oh
race in
yeah,
the team, gets shafted into the seat last minute. It's like, good luck, mate. Go on, do your worst. And then he goes on and wins the race. Come on, how can you not give him the drive after that? So
exactly, yeah.
it seemed very suspect to me at the time, I've got to say. And it still does a little bit to this day. Albeit,
Of
you know, it'd
course.
be very counterintuitive for any team to throw the race like that. But then again, how could it not be that? Because it doesn't make any sense. They've been perfect all year, and then at that moment, they just did the most stupid thing ever.
Exactly, yeah. It's
Bizarre.
not exactly the smartest move.
Yeah, incredible. But we're watching the drivers here coming down the long back straight, and you can see here, C Faulkner all over Meldav, looking to the inside here, into the hairpin, and makes that move beautifully there to C Faulkner into P9 as Mark Bowes into the pits. So is Northover. So we see, in fact, so Steely as well. So 3 drivers at least coming in, and we've got more drivers on their way. So Sniper C also in as we look down the order here. That's at least 4 drivers into the pits here at the end of lap 12. Z10 is also coming into the pits as well. So is Jordan. So is Youngie. What about Brewdog? Brewdog stays out. Geldy's already been into the pits for some fresh wet tyres. So drivers coming in now, putting on the wet tyres. They're committing themselves to a one-stop strategy, aren't they, Ian?
Yeah, definitely. Well,
Oh,
I'm still going to say it's going to be a little bit tricky for them towards the end of the race. I mean, Songy Biscuit, he's going to at the very least halfway through the race to change his tyres. He could go a few more laps after that, but oh, that's
you've
a
seen
bit
what
of
I've
a
just seen.
bold move.
Yeah, that's very
Oh.
ballsy.
You mean you're talking about, you know, that?
Yeah. That's why I clicked on him. That's why we're watching him.
He also
ZX10.
wanted his tyres to match.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought when I saw him coming into the pits. I thought, it looks very coordinated now, doesn't it? So yeah,
See,
ZX10.
that's why I like a Ferrari in soft tyres.
Yeah, it's very true. Yeah,
But it does not look comfortable at all out there for him right now.
I'll tell you what. the Jordans that were on the grid back in the day would have looked lovely with medium tyres on as well.
Oh yeah.
That would have looked sexy. But anyway, we've got Super Striker in. So is
Do you need
Corey.
a moment?
No, I'm all right. Are you? Not intimidated, I hope.
No, it just seemed like you wanted to go and have a little bit of a personal moment.
As we see Murph and C. Faulkner here coming out the final corner. They're very close here, but C. Faulkner, I think, a little bit too far away as they come down towards turn 1. So they're going to hold position for the time being. Super Striker now out of the pits, coming into turn 1, so they come out just ahead of these guys who are battling. C. Faulkner down the inside and gets it turned beautifully there and up into 3rd place. Murph and Meldav here in the background with Liamas as well, as Mark Bowes there has come out in 7th place. And RDB CFC, the other driver other than ZX10 to put the intermediate tyres on. We've got to look at the split times here that ZX10 is doing. As we see he comes just out ahead of RDB CFC. But we've got to keep an eye here on the sector times here from these two, because this is going to be crucial. Keep an eye on the gaps, keep an eye on the sector times. Let's get the leader, the gap up so it's to the leader. He's 55 seconds behind at the moment, is ZX10. So as things stand, it's not going to come to any avail, this strategy.
Yeah,
Soggy Biscuit's logging it out.
I don't think the intermediates were the way to go. I think it's still way too wet there to go to the intermediates, and as rare as it is, it's best to stay on the full wets.
Yeah, it's interesting because ZX10 is currently matching the leader, but the gap is so huge from the time that obviously we've seen lose during this time in between the first pit stops and now. But now ZX10 is actually matching Soggy Biscuit, although Soggy Biscuit on worn wets, that could be the wear on the tyres could be a big factor here.
He's on the pit.
Soggy Biscuit's gone for the inters here, and that's confirmation.
Oh.
That's confirmation of what I'm maybe hinting at here. And if Soggy Biscuit comes out, he's going to come out level with these guys up the top. And if they have to come in again, that's going to give Soggy Biscuit practically a walkover here in this race. Soggy Biscuit's come out in the lead of the race, 4 seconds clear. But the big thing, not just the fact that he's got track position and the gap, but also the fact that the inters could be the quicker tyre at this point in the race. Soggy Biscuit could absolutely walk off into the distance with this race.
It's always possible. So we can't hear, team radios. We don't know when if the race is going to get less, or if it's going to persist the way it was at the beginning. So all we can do is just go purely off of lap times, by the relative. That's all we can do.
RDVCFC seems to be struggling. Pardon me. That's my cough again, which still hasn't gone from about a month ago. RDVCFC has dropped off of ZX10 a little bit. They're both on the intermediate tyres. The ZX10 is keeping the gap to Soggy Biscuit pretty consistent. Obviously, Soggy Biscuit's been into the pit, so 32 seconds. So I tell you what, if the switch to intermediate tyres becomes a necessity here, then ZX10 could pick up a lot of places here. I reckon could be on the podium. Then again, the other guys will have much fresher tyres if that does end up being the case. So might not stay the case, but for the time being, ZX10 seems to have a pretty good pace, and could be a threat to a lot of these drivers. Could be in for some very solid points by the time we get to the end of this Chinese Grand Prix here at the Red Arrows Racing League. So definitely one to watch out for is ZX10.
Because from P3 to P5, they've all still to come in for their tyre changes.
That's very true. Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that. But also the fact that these guys like Bo, for example, and Corey, they're only about 20 seconds up the road as well. So if they were to come in, they'd come out about 5 seconds behind.
Another thing is the gap between Soggy Biscuit and Super Striker is actually increasing. Yeah.
So the inters are the tyre of choice now. The thing is, even though it's still raining, the rain has definitely dissipated to a point where it's definitely being shedded quicker than it's falling. So what you're seeing is the cars are getting rid of the spray quicker than it's coming down onto the track, and that's causing overall a major improvement in the actual drivability of the surface. As we can see there, C. Faulkner, they're just almost tapping ZX10 in the rear there, but C. Faulkner now the latest driver to put the intermediate tyres on. But the thing is, the intermediate tyres aren't so much quicker that you can gain heaps of time at the moment. They need the track to try a bit more for it to be a major delta. Otherwise, the intermediate
Well,
tyres runners who are a long way behind aren't going to be much of a threat at this stage.
well, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that because Soggy Biscuits actually gained over a second on Super Strike in the last lap.
Yeah, you are. It's a good point. A second, though, if the gap's 20 seconds, it's a pit stop, admittedly, but a second a lap isn't going to get you a 20-second gap unless.
I'm talking about between the top two here.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm talking about like the guys who are down in the mid pack, like the intermediate runners, like ZX Tennessee, Faulkner, IWCFC. If the front runners don't pit, like for example Bo and Corey and Steely and those guys, then if they don't pit, then ZX Tennessee, Faulkner, they won't pick up any places. That's what I mean.
Well,
or if they don't have to pit, or if their tyres don't hit the cliff.
well, the gap between ZX Tenor and Sniper, that's roughly about five or 6 seconds. So, well, we should be able
Liam
to.
here making a move down the inside of Corey into turn one. Sorry, to jump in there as he's made that move really nicely there as Liam up into P5. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
As Corey, they're getting a lovely exit out of this sequence here. And I'll tell you what, Liam got caught napping there. Corey setting up an absolute kipper there coming out of that corner up into P5 once again. And now Steely's looking to try and get involved here as well. Liam gained one place, now could be about to lose two if Steely can get his way here. Which middle sector we go. Through this very tricky section in the dry conditions. It's a real killer on the tyres. Oh, as Liam has lost it at the back end, but managed to do really well there to actually hold on to that. I'll tell you what, I thought that was gone. I thought that was game over. I thought that was off to the fence for Liam, but not quite. A very good save there. Steely looking to the inside, coming down towards the end of the little straight, but a little bit too far away. And Liam somehow is still in P6. I think that Steely had to get out of it massively there to avoid running into him when Liam had that moment, because you can see how much time these two have lost to the guys up ahead. I think that Steely had nowhere to go, and that was the reason why he didn't get past, as Steely now's got the run here coming down the back straight, and this is surely going to be moved done unless Liam's got a little bit lower downforce, which it looks like he has actually. So it's now taking him away from Steely, so lucky for Liam as gone for a bit more of a pacier car in a straight line. Corey and Murph battling it out into the final corner there for fourth and fifth places. There are the other two as Liam's into the pits here. I assume to put on the intermediate tyres. I wonder if any of these drivers were trying to long it out for the dries. Obviously, we're never going to get near dries. That's not going to happen tonight. But yeah, I wonder if any of the drivers were maybe thinking about that. But Liam into the box, puts some fresh tyres on. Inter's on for Liam. And that he now becomes the seventh driver to put on a set of intermediates. Still the other 10 on the wet tyres at the moment. And I don't think there's any need to pit at the moment, because the advantage of being on the inters isn't enough to outweigh the loss in the pits if you were to change tyres. So I think at this point, for those who are on wets, although it's not the ideal situation, I think sticking is probably the best one at this point. And as long as the rain, or rather as long as the track doesn't dry up any more than it has, and the rain is falling a bit, so it's unlikely that it's going to dry out, I think the wet runners should be okay here.
Oh, we have Seat Faulkner close to the ZX Tenor.
Yeah, he is. This is looking pretty tight. This is for P9 in the race. So these two obviously are both on the intermediate tyres, and I was saying before how ZX Tenor could be a threat to the podium runners if the track dried out. 20 seconds behind at the moment, behind Bo running in P3. Currently 16 seconds behind Corey in P4, so as it stands it would take a heck of a feat, and it would take some considerable intervention from who's the sun god? Can you remember? I can't remember. I was about to
Mr. Toasty.
I was about to come up with a really wise crack there, but I can't think who it is. So we're going to leave that.
I'm going to look it up.
Yeah, no, I can't bother.
I've got it.
But here we go. We got Steely there moving up into P5. That's because Murph's in the pits. So Murph is the last driver now to make the mandatory stop here in this race.
Helios.
Oh, Helios. Okay.
So everyone is free. There's Shariah, Helios, and Ra.
So without intervention from Helios, then ZX Tenor and C Faulkner haven't got much hope, I don't think, of getting involved in the battle for the podiums, or I'd say even a top five would be pretty much a long shot here at this point. But Murph nonetheless out onto the track again on those fresh intermediate tyres. Now, the thing is, we were saying before how the intermediate tyres was the quickest tyre, just about. Now, obviously, with the fact that they're also much fresher as well, that could really play into Murph's hands quite a lot, because it's not just the fact that you're on the ideal compound, also the fact that they haven't done any mileage or anything. It's going to really play into his hands here, so we could be seeing Murph make good progress here. Likewise, Liam as well. As we say that, Liam's down the inside of Geldy there into P11, and looks to be making quick progress here. I wonder maybe if a P5 is on the card. That might be a bit too much because he's currently 22 seconds off of that from the Steely. But P6 maybe. Over. Say again?
We've lost Northover.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, Northover's out of the race here. So Northover's crashed out on lap 19. Is that going to be a safety car? That could really blow the strategy out of the water here. Soggy Biscuit will be fuming with that, I'm sure, as would quite a few of the drivers out here. But certainly this man here, who's done absolutely nothing wrong in this one, managed to long out that first stint on the wet tyres really nicely, and put the intermediate tyres on, which at the time we were debating, we were kind of like banging our heads together over whether it was the right strategy to put the inters on. Then we saw the race leader doing it, and we thought, okay, must be. And yeah, it's just really done an excellent job, both in terms of driving, speed, and also in terms of strategy as well, showing that it's not just about pace, it's also about having a smart head and having a composure as well. So Soggy Biscuit driving an absolute masterclass here tonight, as it looked like he's having to counter steer a little bit there, going through that left-hander. Did you see that, Ian? It definitely looked like there was a bit of a slide going on there. There was a bit of a correction going through that corner. But it looked very intentional. Yeah. It looked intentional. So Soggy Biscuit, again, showing fantastic car control there as well.
Yeah, he's maybe to try and get a little bit more temperature into the tyres, or maybe he's just having a little bit of fun with the gap, because it's now up to about 10 seconds.
Yeah, all it takes is one little snap doing that, and it's... oh, hello, Barrier. But, yeah, definitely Soggy Biscuit has got confidence, and with nearly a 10-second gap, I suppose you can kind of let him off for it. But Super Striker, currently the only driver with a penalty here in this race. The discipline in terms of track limits, absolutely phenomenal. Very impressed with that, I must say.
Yeah,
hats off for that one.
If I had a hat on, I would be taking it off.
Yep, exactly here. Well, I've got headphones, so I can lift them up. There we go.
Yeah, but who can be bothered with that?
Hey?
Who can be bothered with that?
Me, I just did it. So anyway, we've got ZX Tenor and C Faulkner here coming down the long back straight, down towards the hairpin, and C Faulkner there having a little look, but a little bit too far away as they come into the corner. So nothing doing there for C Faulkner, but might fancy a chance going into turn one if you can get a good exit out of the final corner. We've got Brewdog here has made the move on Geldy up into 13th place. That's a position gained there for the McLaren driver. And C Faulkner here has got the run on ZX Tenor down towards turn one, but I think we're a little bit too far away, and ZX Tenor will hold on for the time being. Although C Faulkner looking to try and poke up the inside, ZX Tenor taking a tight line through that corner, definitely aware of C Faulkner in the mirrors, and just putting the car in a place where he's saying, look, don't be silly, don't even think about it. And C Faulkner for the time being has had to hold firm in this one. But interesting battle between these two drivers. Obviously they both put the inters on at around the same... Well, actually no, I'm surprised actually. I didn't realise that ZX Tenor had put them on so early. Done 3 laps more than C Faulkner. This could actually be very advantageous for C Faulkner, couldn't it, Ian? Because the 3 lap fresher tyres, you know, ZX Tenor's going to be slightly feeling the pace now.
Yeah, I mean, ZX Tenor, he was the first driver to put them on. So he was, the rest, those that are in Earth after him, just following the example. But I think he probably did pull the trigger a bit early with the changeover.
Yeah, it was maybe a little bit preempted, and I think a lot of that was... Oh, it's C Faulkner there, very close to losing the car on the outside there, coming onto the back straight. Wow, phenomenal reactions there from C Faulkner. again, we've seen a lot of drivers losing the car, but their saves tonight have been absolutely fantastic. Um, I wonder if they haven't got traction control in this league because a lot of drivers seem to lose the car, but then seem to grab hold of it very well. So I wonder if they're losing traction and then um, obviously they've just had practice with regaining control because when you've got traction control on, it's very rare that you lose control of the car. So a lot of drivers aren't used to having to regain control, whereas when you've got it off, you're much more used to having to grab hold of it. So as we see, C Faulkner there trying to go around the outside of ZX10 going through this first sector here. On the inside there is a side by side, and C Faulkner back ahead once again. So C Faulkner, there's patience has paid off, and up into P7 has now got 6 championship points to show for his efforts here tonight from P16 on the grid as well. We've got to remember, Ian, that's a phenomenal drive, up 9 places since the start.
Yeah, fantastic drive. Still got a good few laps to go though, but you know, even with the position he's in, you know, cannot complain it, cannot knock it.
100%. We see Liam and Murph here battling over 11th place as well. So Murph has closed up onto the back of Liam over these last couple of laps, just a little bit here. And we've seen there's been just chipping away here on the back of the Red Bull. As we now come down this little straight in towards the final sector here, you can see Murph just having a little look there, trying to distract Liam in the mirrors a little bit as we now come into this arena section, which is always empty. I don't think I've ever seen anybody sat in that stand there on the left-hand side. Not one single person ever. I don't know about you.
I don't think they're actually supposed to be used as official stands.
No, I don't quite know why they're there, but there's never been anyone in them. There's just grandstands and no one's ever in them.
They probably used to be.
Yeah.
But then the Chinese government probably took that stand over and told them, no one can use it anymore.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, we don't know what they're being used for. We don't know who's being. Yeah, could be. Well, we don't know who they're hiding within that within those stands. But anyway, nonetheless, Murph a little bit too far away to come back at Liam at the moment. C Faulkner has got the gap at just over a second now to ZX10, so I think that C Faulkner is going to start to just say bye-bye here to the ZX10, and C Faulkner might have a chance here to go after Sniper C here for P6. This could be an interesting one because C Faulkner on the fresher tyres, the better tyres, the wet tyres last longer, so Sniper C could see maybe a second wind in comparison to C Faulkner's pace towards the end of the race, which could be quite intriguing to follow as we near the closing laps of the race here. Pardon me. Yeah, Murph still putting pressure here on Liam. And these two are closing in on Mel as well. Mel Dav, who's on the back of RDBCFC. So this could become a four-way battle for ninth place here. RDBCFC, Mel Dav, Liam and Murph. Liam and Murph on the intermediate tyres. Or so is RDBCFC as well. So actually Mel Dav, the odd one out here on the wet tyres. But this could be very quickly a four-way battle for P9 here between these drivers. Meldav's been pressuring RDBCFC, but he's going to have his mirrors absolutely full here of these two in the background in just a second.
Yep, we can never say no to a good four-way battle on track. You know, could always turn into something amazing, or it could always just fall apart.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, Bruder not too far away as well, so who knows what might happen. As C Faulkner's made the move here on Sniper C into turn one we go, and lovely move there from C Faulkner. I wasn't quite ready for that. I thought it'd be about a lap or so more until we saw that happening, but C Faulkner's gone and surprised me there. Really nice move there into turn one, and P6 8 championship points from 16th on the grid, up 10 places tonight. C Faulkner, I've got to say, a fantastic drive here from our driver who races on the Motive channel 3 nights a week now. Obviously Tuesdays and Thursdays in the Purple Sector F1 League, and now on Monday night as well here in the Red Arrows Racing League. Tell you what though, one thing I've learned about the Red Arrows League after our first night here, Ian, is that there is one driver who really likes the wet conditions, and he's pretty damn good in the dry as well.
Yeah, the man that we've known for a long time. He never disappointed when he was with us at Motive, and he definitely does not disappoint here.
No, certainly not. I can't. What what was it that Soggy Biscuit raced him? Was it the GT3? Was it? I can't actually remember.
I think
Or
so.
it wasn't on ACC, was it? Um,
Uh,
it was Project Cars too. I'm sure it was.
mm,
But yeah, we got. No, I'm not in tomorrow. Right, so right, Liam has got ahead of Meldav up into points paying positions here, down the inside into the hairpin. Although looks like Meldav's trying to go for a cutback, can't do it. Liam completes that move there up into P10 and is now getting involved in the midst of this because IDBCFC leading this train of cars, but this four-way battle that we predicted is transpiring exactly that way. But now obviously you got Murph there moving through ahead of Meldav, so Meldav falling backwards here into turn one we go. Murph around the outside, Liam and Murph have made their way through. Liam now knocking on the door here of ninth place. I reckon that Murph could follow him through, but Meldav's got back ahead of Murph here as these two are side by side. Look at this, and Meldav's not giving up without a fight here, but Murph's going to get that one done. And that was inevitable there on those fresh tyres, but Meldav wasn't lying down easily there.
no, and they had every reason every right to fight it as much as they could. But unfortunately, even if his best efforts, he couldn't stop that inevitable.
Absolutely not. We can see that RDBCFC still leading this train of cars at the moment, but for how much longer, with the likes of Liam hunting him down and Murph as well, who are, as we said, on those fresher tyres. RDBCFC on the right tyre, the intermediate, but the rain, I don't know if it's me, it's the rain started to intensify a little bit more. Could we see the wet tyres start to come back at them as we see Liam there down the inside at the end of the back straight there, has made that move, sticking to P9, made it a bit sooner than I thought he would. I thought he'd make it at the end of the long back straight, but we see there now Liam up into ninth place, and Murph here is going to try and knock RDBCFC while he's down and take him out of the points paying positions here, as with alongside coming down the back straight. And here goes Murph up into P10 and done the move way before we even get close to the corner. And that's Murph up into 10th place there with that one. As Brewdog potentially could be closing in on these drivers as well here. Obviously IDBCFC and Meldav struggling a little bit. Brewdog on the inters, so is IDBCFC. But yeah, Brewdog maybe might be, I don't know, sensing a point here perhaps. That'd be unlikely with Liam and Murph, wouldn't it, surely, Ian?
Yeah, it's yep. You've got 2 laps to make 2 positions in a wet race.
Or 3, because he wants to get P10 for a point, for a prize, because points mean prizes.
Well, that is very true, yeah, and that's, you know, I hate not being optimistic about it, but it does not seem like it's going to be a possibility.
You love being pessimistic, don't I?
No.
I'm joking. But anyway, Brewdog is all over the back of Meldav here as we come through the middle sector. No, for those of you who are wondering, Ian is usually positive, but some days more positive than others, shall we say.
Like right now, I want to throw you off a bridge.
Sorry, I shouldn't be laughing. That's not funny at all. But nonetheless, Murph is on the back of Liam here, and also because Liam doesn't have slipstream off of anybody in front, Murph could have a real kind of like opportunity here to make this move as we jump on board. But Liam got a lovely exit coming out onto this long straight, and that's kept Liam in pretty good stead here as we now come down towards the hairpin. Murph having a little think about it there coming into the hairpin, just too far away at the moment. Nothing doing it for the time being for Murph as we now come down towards the final corner here on the track here at Shanghai. Did you say Buddha? Bugger. As Murph a little bit too far. Bugger.
Yeah.
Indeed. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree anymore. As Brewdog too far away on Meldav there, going into turn 1. The race leader, Soggy Biscuit, is coming to the final few corners of the lap here. So we'll be about to start the final lap of the race very, very shortly in what has been a spectacular and one-sided affair tonight here at the Shanghai International Circuit. What a performance it has been from our driver in the Williams. But we've got to go back to these drivers here. Liam, all the way down to Meldav. These 5 drivers here. Liam, Murph, RWCFC, Brewdog and Meldav. Brewdog got ahead of Meldav up into 12th place on that previous lap there and is now trying to chase after a potential point. But I think that might have slipped through his fingers here. I think that would be a little bit of a stretch at this stage in the race. I don't think that one's going to be possible. But Murph here attacking on Liam for P9, and this could be well on here for Murph as they come into the empty arena.
That stand is definitely controlled by the Chinese communist movement.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
If anyone doesn't hear from me in a while, then you know that I've been abducted, I've been kidnapped.
No, because the last thing that they want is extraditing somebody from a capitalist country.
Yeah, but they don't care.
No, because it doesn't benefit them in any way to do that.
It
just
does
wouldn't.
when someone is, cursing out their way of life.
Right, anyway, resisting the urge to speak ill about our own government. Here we come.
It's impossible not to, though.
Honestly, mate, I genuinely, the way the world is now, I wouldn't even dare to do it on a stream which literally like about probably 20 people are going to watch. Anyway.
I suppose.
Seriously. Anyway, Soggy Biscuit here coming down the long back straight down towards the hairpin. And what a performance it's been from Soggy Biscuit here, laying down a marker in its opening round of the season for the Red Arrows Racing League, or Red Arrows F1 League, whatever we want to call it here. Here comes Soggy Biscuit, a former racer here at Motive Racing. It's going to come into the final corner with 20 seconds in hand. It's been a superb display of driving here in these wet conditions. Has absolutely mastered the slipperiness here in Shanghai. Soggy Biscuit is your race winner tonight here in China. He takes the checkered flag over 20 seconds ahead. Super Spherica coming out of the hairpin for the final time. It's going to come in towards the final corner, and it's going to be second place here. 21 seconds in the end, the gap between the top two. That is sensational stuff there from Soggy Biscuit as Super Striker there takes second place. Mark Bow coming into the final corner will be a podium place here, and a creditable drive here from Mark Bow, but a long way behind in these wet conditions. Who knows, the dry conditions could be more favourable. We could be seeing a lot closer races this season in the dry, but in the wet, Soggy Biscuit absolutely in a class of his own. Corey over in fourth with Steely P5. C Faulkner is going to come up towards the line. It's going to be sixth place here in this one ahead of ZX Tenor. He'll come around in seventh place. And then you've got Sniper C here, who's over the line in eighth place. Liam in ninth. Just holds on from Murph there, who was really pushing him to the end. IWCFC in 11th ahead of Brewdog, followed by Meldav over the line in P13. And a bit of a gap back to Youngie, who's just coming in towards the final corner now. And P14 here for Youngie. Didn't get to talk about Youngie too much here tonight, but I'm sure over the course of the season we'll get to know Youngie. Jordan Hillier over the line in P15, and Geldy just behind gets the position on the penalties by the looks of it. Very strange, because there weren't many here tonight, but that is that then for tonight's action here in China for the opening round of the Red Arrows Racing League. And if that race is anything to go by, then I can't see any way that Soggy Biscuit doesn't win his championship, but as we know, Ian, races aren't won in the first round of the season.
Well, of course not, no, but it's definitely the best place to assert your dominance and show off exactly what you can do.
For sure. And he's done exactly that here with a flawless display out on the circuit here tonight. Thanks everybody for tuning in to the drivers watching this back afterwards. If you did enjoy, then please do share it with your friends, family members and always associates. And if you want a friend and family member or any of the drivers out on track, then make sure you tune in next Monday for round 2 of the season. We'll be live at 8 p.m. or just after 8 p.m. UK time every single week here for the Red Arrows Racing League. And myself and most of the time Ian will be here to provide some dulcet tones as a backdrop here for the racing action. But yeah, next week we'll be live for round 2, as I said before, and we'll be at the Hungaro Ring for that one. So Hungarian Grand Prix next week. Tune in for that one. Also, we'll be live on Motive Racing on the channel tomorrow night for Purple Sector. That'll be I can't even remember what round it is now. Is it round 3? Must be round 3. round three of the season from Albert Park, Australia, and then Thursday night as well for Japan. But from all of us, it's a good night. We'll see you all very, very soon.
Good night.